Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Madeline, your counsellor for today. Just take a seat.
Thank you. Did I take over my coffee in? The receptionist made it for me while I was waiting.
No, that's fine. That's completely fine. So how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. It's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Just let me know if it gets a bit too hot in here and I can open up some windows.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right at the moment. It feels quite cool.
Yeah, I do have a fan on, but
Yeah.
sometimes you need that bit of breeze coming through.
Yeah.
All right, so before we start, I'm just going to run over a few things. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
All right,
fine.
so at this facility we keep all your information confidential, so anything you tell me will be kept confidential, but if you're doing something illegal or I think that you're at harm or someone else is, I have to breach that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, okay Sharon, so what brings you here today?
The start of the year is in March. I left my husband after 30 years of marriage. We've been having quite a few problems on and off over the years, and it just reached a point where it was just couldn't do it anymore. And what the main thing is that's brought me here today is the ongoing issues with my daughters. I've got 3 adult daughters who have struggled in one way or another with me and their dad breaking up. And now I have met someone else I'm in a relationship with, and it's sort of a couple of them especially aren't taking it very well. They just don't want me to move on.
So you feel like they're not accepting the change?
Yeah, that's right. They're finding it hard to see mum not with their dad, but having another life.
Yeah.
You know, meeting someone else. And
Okay, yeah. All right, so how's this impacted you, this issue?
well, it's been really hard. What happened exactly was I got a letter in the mail in March this year addressed to me, and it was a handwritten name and address on the front, but the letter was typed like on the computer and printed out, and it basically told me, it's quite a long letter, but it basically said that my husband had been having an affair on me, had been going on for quite some time, and it shocked me. I didn't know what to think. I never said anything to him at the moment because I wanted to just ask a few people and just see if anyone knew anything. And after a couple of weeks I couldn't find anything out, so I mentioned it to him. And he denied he'd ever cheated on me. I said, have you ever cheated on me? And he said no. But when I did first ask him, I felt he was going to tell me something like I said, if you have any love and respect for me after being together so long, just tell me the truth. I don't care what it is, I just want you to be honest with me. Have you ever cheated on me? And he looked at me and he looked like he was going to admit that he had. And but then he just said, no I haven't. And he said, why would you say that? And I said, well, someone's told me differently. And he said, who? And I told him about the letter. And he said, where is this letter? And I showed him, and he read it right through and then laughed. And it was like, I couldn't believe it. I was just so upset and so angry. I said, how can you laugh? I've been going through hell the last couple of weeks, and you read this and you laugh. Like, what part of this do you find funny?
So you felt like he was sort of making a joke of something that was really serious, and it was quite hurtful.
Yeah, he was just making it lighthearted. Like somebody, I don't know who, wrote a letter. Either it was true and they're trying to break us up, or it's not true and they're trying to break us up. And I was just desperately, and he just acted like he didn't care. And I said, what are you laughing for? And he said, because it's rubbish, it's ridiculous, it's laughable, it's not right. And I thought, aren't you even shocked? Doesn't that even shock you that someone's accusing you of this? And his whole attitude, and I said, well, that's it. I said, after everything we've been through, I said, until I get to the bottom of this letter, we're no longer married, our marriage is over. I want to know the truth, one way or the other. I need proof that you're being faithful or we're over. And it never found out anything. No one come forward. No one said anything. And I just couldn't. His whole behaviour, he tried to blame me for everything. He blamed my sister and her partner for writing the letter. He blamed our oldest daughter and her partner for writing a letter, anyone and everyone. He just took no responsibility, and he's such a womaniser and such a flirt. And there's been numerous times people have told me he's playing up or he's this, that and the other, but I've never had any proofs, and I've just believed him, I've trusted him, but over the years I have less and less trust. So I said, that's it, I'm moving out, I can't do it anymore.
So the letter was really the straw that broke the camel's back?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like we had so many problems. And he just kept saying, that letter broke us up, our marriage was great, that letter. And I said, it wasn't the letter. That was just something that brought it all to a head and made me question everything that was wrong. And yeah, in about 8 weeks or so after I got the letter, I got a phone call and I missed it. And it went to voicemail, and I had a message there. It was a no number, so I didn't have a number, but the message said, hello, Sharon, my name's Helen. A couple of months ago I wrote you a letter and telling you a few things about your husband. And she said, I think we need to catch up and talk about, there's a few things you need to know. And
how did you feel when she contacted
well,
you?
On one hand I was happy because I felt like I'm going to get to talk to this woman, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And I thought, great. She said, I'll be up your way in a couple of weeks and we can talk then. So I thought, great, I'm going to get to get some resolution.
An answer.
Yeah, that's right, that's what I thought. It's not just a letter, now I've got a woman that's going to ring me back.
Yeah.
So I was counting down the days hoping she would ring me. And I let a couple of people listen to it just to see what they thought. And she did sound quite emotional, she did sound fair income, it didn't sound rehearsed, it didn't sound like she was reading it. She really sounded genuinely like she wanted to talk to me and tell me some things. And my husband ended up finding out, and he just, another joke, you'll never hear from that woman, someone set it up. Someone who wrote this fake letter has paid someone to ring you and do this. And I don't know whether he does know who wrote the letter, and he's got back to that person and saying, one of your friends is ringing up now. And somehow they've got back to this woman because I never heard from her again. And my husband kept saying, you'll never hear from her, because she doesn't exist. You know, he was just adamant that I'd never hear from her, like he knew that some way or another she wasn't going to ring me, that he'd put a stop to it.
So you feel like he had a bit of doubt in the whole thing?
Yeah, he didn't believe. He felt it was a whole setup. He felt somebody was trying to break us up. And I really don't know, you know, what it is, but he is such a flirt and such a womanizer, and everyone that knows him, every woman feels, you know, that he has flirted and been a bit too friendly with them. And this was just something, like, it was easier to believe that it was true than not true.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and that's quite hurtful. I mean, you don't want to believe it, but,
Yeah.
you know, the evidence is sort of there.
Points that way. Yeah, I know. And the thing is, if I had never had any doubts about his fidelity, and if we had had a good marriage, like, I'm not saying perfect, because nothing's perfect, but I would, if I trusted him, I would have believed him. I would have really thought it was someone just messing with us, but he gave me so many reasons over the year to doubt him, you know, and I really did doubt him, you know, and leading up to the letter, he'd been getting quite nasty in the things he was saying to me. He was getting critical about, like, he told me I'd put on weight in front of a few friends of ours. I mean, he'd never ever done that. He was picking on me for everything, like I couldn't do anything right. And I thought, well, he's acting like, you know, like really mean and nasty and blaming me for everything, and if I was not the way I was, he would flirt with women, and he was saying our friends were trying to break us up, and it was getting really nasty. And then I get the letter at the end of all this.
So it sounds like things are pretty hard at the moment for you.
Well, I have, like, when I was trying to leave, my oldest daughter and youngest daughter had left home, but my middle daughter still lived at home, and she was with her dad, and they were both ganging up on me and basically saying, you'll never be happy, you don't know what you're doing, you're delusional, you must...
How did you cope with all of that?
It was terrible, and a couple of times I just thought, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do this, because they just made me feel so pathetic. And my husband, he would say, just look at yourself, just look at you, look what you've become, look who you've turned into. And then I think, well, is there something wrong with me? You know, he said, I'll never be happy, I'll never get a job, I'll never find anyone else. Basically, I should just stay where I am and be thankful for having a roof over my head and having a husband. And my middle daughter was sticking with him, and they were both agreeing that I shouldn't go anywhere. And I almost gave up and thought, no, because so many times I've been that close to leaving him, but he always knocked me down so much in my confidence that I thought, I can't do it, I can't do it. And then things would be okay in our marriage for a few months, and then it would go straight back to, you know, bad. Like, it was like a roller coaster, up and down and up and down. And
but you finally did it. And
yeah, I did.
That's a good thing that you finally did it.
I had a point where I just thought, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this anymore. And because we were self-employed, we had our own business, we were just a partnership, husband and wife partnership, so to leave him, I didn't just leave my marriage and my house, I left my job, I had nothing. So I had a lot to take into account, but I knew I could do it. Like, so many people doubted me, but I really knew I could do it. Like, I felt
determined.
Yeah, and everyone, not everyone, a lot of people were really good, but most people were saying, you sure you know what you're doing, you sure you know what you're doing, you know? And I knew what I was doing, and everyone kept saying, and John, my husband, he kept saying, you'll be back, you won't last, you'll be back, you'll be crawling back to me. And you know, he was just making me feel so pathetic. Anyway, I finally left and felt good. I got a job, I got a house, everything was going great. But he was just so angry at me leaving him.
Not accepting.
No, he wasn't accepting. He was running me down to people, telling them I was drinking 2 or 3 bottles of wine a night, that I was forgetting myself, losing my memory.
How did that affect you, having someone that having someone say that, those
well, it
nasty
hurt me.
things about you?
On one hand, it hurt me so much that we'd been together for so long that he could lower himself to do this, but on the other hand, all it did was make me realise I'd done the right thing. His behaviour was making me more determined, and it was making me, thank goodness I'm left, because this is proof. It was doing nothing. He was doing nothing to try to make me change my mind. Everything he was saying and doing was making me more determined to get out of there. And he was telling us that our friends hated me, that everyone was talking about me, that I was a joke, and that I'd broken the family up and I was destroying our children's lives. And yeah, it was pretty hard.
Yeah, it would be very hurtful. I mean,
It was.
when you're in a situation like that, and
Yeah.
being doubted, that's quite hurtful.
My family were all supportive, like my mum and dad and sister and everything, because they'd seen things over the year. They knew how tough everything was. They were all really good, and my youngest and oldest daughter were really good, but the middle daughter, because she was still at home, my dad used to talk to her and try to get her to talk me into staying in that. And then he got really angry at my oldest daughter because she wouldn't try to make me change my mind. And
it's
so
good that you had the support from, your other family and friends and stuff. It's good that you had that support.
yeah, I did have support. But and my oldest daughter, her dad didn't talk to her for a couple of months because he was so angry at her because she helped me move. And I said, what has she actually done to you? Why are you, this is your child, don't make our problems into your problems with your daughters, don't do that. And I said, what has she done so you won't talk to her? And he said, supported you. And that was all, and he would not talk to her. He was rude, he was nasty, he was just plain, he was lying, he was making up lies about her and telling people things, and he was just plain. And the day I moved into my new house, he pushed his way up here and tried to push into my house, and he hadn't spoken to my daughter for so long, a couple of months, and he confronted her in the street in my new house and was yelling out, screaming out stuff about me and the letter and everything. And that was my first day in my new neighbourhood. Everyone would have heard.
So you felt embarrassed?
Yeah, I was embarrassed. And and then a couple of months ago, a friend of mine, a friend who's friends with me and my husband, and we got really close. We'd always been good friends, but we got really close because my husband had always, well not always, but a couple of times, said something was going on between us, and it definitely wasn't at all. And so we started talking about how silly this was and talking like we were just friends and that. And then we did get closer and realised we had feelings for each other, and we started seeing each other. But we'd only been seeing each other for a couple of weeks. I hadn't told anyone because I knew that my daughters would find it hard to see me moving on. I didn't know what my husband would be like. I was just so worried. I didn't know how to, I had to work out when the right time was and when and how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still sort of wrapping your head around that situation from your husband coming in and then have this new relationship start. You're still sort of wrapping your head around that yourself.
Yeah, it was also, I knew that my girls would struggle with it. And then one day my husband rang me up and he said, look, I need you to sign something to do it. He was buying me out with our house. He was paying me out and he was keeping the house.
Okay.
And he said, I need to sign something for the bank. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, it's got to be signed by this afternoon. If I don't get it in by closing time today, I'm going to have to do the reapplication. It's going to take forever. It'll take forever to get your money. And he sounded genuine in that. He said, I'm at your house. I just finished work. And I said, well, yeah, okay, I'm coming now. And I rang my solicitor and I said, what could this be? She said, I don't know. I don't really think that you should be signing anything. And I said, well, I'll go home and see what it is and then I'll give you a call if I'm unsure. And I got home and I said, he was waiting outside and I said, where's this form I need to sign? And he said, I want to come in and talk to you. And I said, why? And he said, I just need to talk to you about a few things. He said, I want to see the dogs because we've got 2 little dogs that we had and I took them with me when I moved out. And he said, I want to talk to you about my relationship with our daughters. And I said, he got me. He knew what to say to me for me to let him in the house because he knew I wanted him to have a good relationship with the girls and he knew it was important to me.
Okay, so your relationship with your daughters sounds like it's, you know, your number one priority in this whole situation.
Yeah.
He knew that, so he played on that a bit?
He did, and he knew. That's one thing he always said. He always said that I was a good mum, a really good mum. That's one thing he said, but he did get jealous about me being too focused on our children growing up. He was jealous at the time that they took away from him. But I really wanted I wanted so much, like I knew, even though they were all adults, I knew it was going to be hard enough for their mum and dad breaking up. I didn't want their relationship with either one of us to suffer. And he knew that. And he'd come in, and I had a coffee, and I was going to ask him if he wanted a cup of tea, and he started acting all agitated and weird once he got in the house and pacing around. And I thought, I've made a mistake. I shouldn't have let him in, because I felt threatened, I felt scared. And I said, where's this thing you want me to sign, John? And then he said, how's your relationship with your daughters? And I said, yeah, good. And he said, are you sure about that? I said, yeah. And he said, well, we'll just see. I said, what are you talking about? He threw something at me. And as he threw it down at me, it was a folded piece of paper. He said, how long have you been effing Gary? That's our friend, the one I recently started seeing.
All right.
And he said, has this been going on since when we were together and married? And I said, no. And he accused me of seeing him, like, even up to as long ago as a couple of years. I said, how dare you? I said, I have never done anything to have you doubt my loyalty to you. Nothing ever went on. How dare you say that? And he said, well, there's your letter writer. And the piece of paper he threw at me was a copy of the letter that I had posted to me months before. And he said, Gary's your letter writer. He said, he's wrote the letter to break us up so he can get with you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it. I was so scared. I just didn't know what to make of it. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, so you're turning the tables onto me. The letter says he was cheating on me, and now he's trying to make out I was cheating on him.
So he's still trying to cope with that, getting that letter to start with, and then now you're being accused of...
Yeah, I know. Basically...
screwing him around.
Yeah. And he, then he said, he was screaming at me. We were in the backyard. He was calling me all the names under the sun, you know, really loud. I got a school a couple of doors down. They just got out of school. This was just after 3. There was kids around the front of the house, and he was screaming out and calling me every name you could think of, and accusing me of cheating on him. And then he went, and I was shaking. I couldn't believe it. I was so upset, and I thought, oh God, I've got to, because a couple of mutual friends of ours had told my husband that he thought
okay.
Gary and I were seeing each other.
Okay, so your friends are also your husband's friends. You're all sort of in the same friendship group.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
So they had some idea, and my husband had basically convinced them all that I would be coming back. I need to get whatever it was out of my system, and our marriage would be right. I'd come back because I wouldn't make it on my own. And I told all of them, I'm not going back. I would never have left if I wasn't sure. I would never have left my marriage if I wasn't 100% sure that that was the end. And so I thought, oh gee, I have to tell my girls, I have to tell my mum and my daughters before it gets back to them that I'm seeing someone else. You know, so I rang them all.
And how did you react when
Well,
you spoke to them?
I told them, I said that what their dad had done. He'd come in and accused me and Gary of this. And I said the truth. I said nothing was going on when I was with your dad, nothing at all. I said Gary and I have got really close and we actually do like each other. Nothing was going on. You know, with your dad getting around accusing everyone of stuff, it's actually made us closer. You know, we're talking more and that. And they were all okay. And then the next morning, my oldest daughter rang up and she was crying. And she said, is Gary there with you, Mum? And I'm like, why? She said, just tell me the truth. And I said, yes, why? Who told you? And then she told me that her dad, my husband, when he was in that house the day before, he'd stolen my iPad. And he'd taken it and got on the messenger and read all my personal messages between Gary and I and how we felt about each other and things we were talking about.
How did that make you feel?
I felt betrayed, I felt hurt, I felt really upset, and no one was even angry at him for stealing my iPad, and that was private. I could have had anything in there and it was no one's business but mine.
So you felt sort of invaded, like your
Yeah, I
privacy
did.
wasn't really...
I did. I didn't even know he took it. I was so scared that he was going to hurt me that day because he was so angry and screaming. I don't even know when he picked it up. But he took it and he showed people and told people everything. And all our friends, extended friends of friends, everyone found out. And he basically didn't just say Gary and I were seeing each other, that Gary wrote the letter.
Went to another
Yeah.
step.
That Gary went to the letter and he tried to break us up, and he was bad-mouthing Gary and he was bad-mouthing me and made us out both to be the lowest form of human life possible. So that happened. And then my oldest daughter, who had been so supportive of me moving and that, she just turned on me. And her dad basically said that I'd been cheating on him and that Gary wrote the letter and that I'd been lying about everything. And she turned on me and she believed everything her dad told her.
So I'm just going to, that's hurtful.
It is hurtful.
I'm just going to summarise everything just so I can make sense of the situation. So you've recently broken up with your husband about 7 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And all this stuff's been going on. He's been quite angry and, accusing your new partner of writing this letter, and you're still coming to terms with that. And it's quite hard. And now your eldest daughter's turned on you?
Yeah, she's so mean and nasty, and she's believing. She was so angry at her dad for the way he was treating me. She was so angry, and then he got in her ear, and he hadn't spoken to her for 2 months. But the minute he had something on me, he rang her straight away to tell her how bad her mother was, and she believed.
What concerns you the most about this?
Well, that everyone believes lies, and no one trusts me. Like, everyone, the people closest to me should know what sort of person I am. They should know I would never cheat on their dad. They should know that I wouldn't be stupid enough to be with someone who was that sort of nasty, evil person. I'm a good judge of character. I don't just pick up with anyone. I don't even become friends with just random people. I have to get to know people really good before I'll let them in my life.
And that's important that, you care about what people think. shows that you're a caring person. Obviously, you thought about this and you haven't made the decision lightly.
I know, that's true.
And it's important to you.
And I can understand strangers or just people that know me but don't know me well. You know, my husband could tell them something, they're going to believe it because they don't know anything different, but the people closest to me should at least say, Mum or Sharon, what's your story? What's the truth? Tell me. No one has even said what really happened. Like, everyone is just judging me. And my dad visited me a couple of days before my iPad was stolen and that. He was so angry at my husband. He was so angry. He wanted me to try to get more money off him. He was calling him the biggest liar he'd ever known. It was really tough on him. And then my husband got in his ear and told him that what I'd been doing, I'd been cheating on him, and my dad turned on me. Everyone is I can't believe it. I just can't believe these people that I thought, you know, that love me just turned on me. And even if any of this was true, you don't have to like or love what your loved ones do, but it's not your place to judge them. You can have an opinion, but you can't judge. We've all done something that we may think, you know, we think's right and everyone else doesn't, but it's my life, it's no one else's, you know.
So you feel like you just want to be happy, you want the support, you know, from your family. You feel like you're not getting that at the moment.
No, I'm not. My mum and her partner are good.
That's really good that they're good to you. It's good to have a good support system around you.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they know I'm happy, and they know I'm not a silly person, and they trust me, and they support me no matter what. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's pretty good now, but my other two, they're just totally like they want to tell me how I live my life, and if I can't do it the way they think I should, they just won't support me. You know, it breaks my heart because I've been a really good mum and I have been there for them no matter what. Like, they've done things I haven't agreed with, but I would never just judge them and say, that's not right, I don't want to talk to you. Like, as far as I see it, love is about support and caring and not judgment. There's no judgment in love. It should just be being there to support the people you love. And it hurts me. Like, I've even said to my oldest daughter, you weren't raised like this. You have to judge people how you find them. Don't listen to everyone else. Because my husband is bad-mouthing my new partner, and he's telling my children things that are wrong and exaggerating, making out Gary to look like the lowest form of human life. And my daughter is believing every word that's coming out of his mouth. He told her that he got a detective to trace back the letter and the phone call, and it goes back, it's Gary's writing on the envelope. He doesn't even have the envelope. I have the envelope, and it's that call was made from Gary's phone. It wasn't. And they're believing all this rubbish that comes out of their dad's mouth, and I understand he's their dad and they love him. But I'm their mum, and they love me too. They have to listen to me. I've never lied. I've supported them no matter what. I've never lied. I've been truthful. And they just can't get their head around it. Like my middle daughter, her and her partner, they were good friends with Gary. And they turned on me and him too. They just will not accept it. And it's not like I'm forcing them. I'm not trying to say, you must spend time with Gary and get to know him and accept him. They're even rejecting just me as me, not, you know, it's not like I'm saying, I don't want anything to do with you if you don't have my partner there when I'm with you, but yeah, they're just being so stubborn, and it's breaking my heart. Like, honestly, my father and my oldest daughter, the way that they are with me, they've broken my heart. They've made me lose faith in the people that I love and trust.
It sounds like things are pretty hard at the moment, and that's something you'd like to change, your relationship.
Well, I do. Like,
Better.
it's my birthday in a couple of days, and I'm 50. Like, it's a big birthday, and I don't even know what I'm doing because two of my daughters, they're probably not going to want to see me because I'm with somebody else, you know. And if they want to do that, they'll live with that, you know. I'm not going to just do what they want me to do for my birthday. Like, they would probably want me to go out for dinner with them, but they choose that my new partner doesn't come. Well, that's not going to happen. They're not going to tell me how I spent, my 50th birthday, and they're not going to tell me who I can invite.
So you've got your 50th coming up this week.
Yeah.
So that's a big event, obviously, and you want them to be there, and that's sort of the main thing at the moment that you're worried about. You're concerned.
Well, I'm worried that I'd like them all to be there and just give him a chance, give him a chance, but they're so stubborn and pig-headed that I don't know whether they will.
Have you spoken to them about like your 50th? Have you spoken to them?
No, I haven't. I haven't said anything because I don't know, I'm scared. I'm just scared of being rejected again. I tried to talk to my middle daughter the other day about how her and her boyfriend, how they feel with Gary at the moment, where we stand. Oh yeah, I did mention my 50th, and I mentioned to her, she said, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, I'd like us all to go to dinner, but I don't know how. Sammy's not talking to me, my oldest daughter, and you and your boyfriend, I don't know where you stand with it all. She didn't reply. She won't talk to me about anything. She'll talk to me about small talk, about work, about animals and that, but she will not talk about anything.
So when it comes to the deeper side of the issue, she'll sort of ignore it,
Yeah.
pretend it's not there.
My middle daughter will ignore it. She just does not want to know about it. And my oldest daughter, she doesn't want to talk about it either, but if she does, she's angry and nasty to me. And yeah, I don't know. I've texted her backwards and forwards a couple of times the last few days, but nothing about Gary and nothing about my birthday. And I would rather them not be there if they're going to cause trouble, but it breaks my heart that they would do that to me.
So you're feeling sort of rejected?
Yeah, I am. I am. And I think it really upsets me, like everything, I could never do it. I could never do it to my loved ones. And I just can't see it, like how they can do it to me. We've always been so close.
Sounds like your relationship with your daughters is you've always been very connected and very close together, and this has had a really big impact on you, and that's something that you want to change. You want to go to have these events and not have any dramas and anyone hating on each other. You just want a bit of peace there.
I know, and I just think like that with a few people around, it would probably be easier than just one-on-one getting to talk to Gary and that, They have to, it's their choice. They either want their mum in their life or they don't. And for them to even think that they could possibly not. Like, I've even said to them, life's too short, we're not guaranteed another day in this world. Like, don't keep it going. I beg them just to let things go. And they're stubborn. They're just like, I'll never accept it. And
so it's really all or nothing.
Yeah, that's how it seems. And I don't know whether they need time, and I don't know what the best thing to do is to just back off a bit and let them come to terms. But then I think if I don't keep that connection there, and if I don't keep communicating, things will never be the same.
So what have you found helpful so far? What has really worked when talking to your daughters about this?
Well, nothing's really worked. The only thing that's working to keep everyone happy is me not to mention Gary and me to act like he's not in my life. And they want me to admit I've made a mistake and I've ruined the family and I've ruined my children's lives and that I'm selfish and stubborn. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the selfish and stubborn ones. They've all got partners, they've all got jobs, they've all got their own houses, they've got their own friends, their own lives, they're happy. Just let your poor mother have a life. That's how I feel. Just leave me.
Yeah, I completely understand you. So you're feeling like they're not really respecting you, and
I feel like they're not supporting me.
You want that, really.
I feel I'll only be supported if I do what everyone wants, and that's how I was in my marriage. I felt that if I did what I was told, and if I followed the rules of what was supposedly right and wrong, everyone loves me. But if I make a few choices for myself that no one agrees with, You know, God help me, like I've always put my family first, always. You know, I didn't leave their father to start taking orders from someone else. You know, I want to make my own decisions. And I'm happy, like I'm really happy.
That's the main thing in this, is that you're happy and your well-being's protected and that you're okay. And it's important, you know, it's really important. Sharon, I'm just going to ask you, if we were to leave here today and everything was to be okay and a miracle was to happen overnight, what would be different? What do you see that would be different?
If I could make it the way I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
That my daughters would just talk to me as normal, and they would just ring me and talk to me like everything was the way it used to be. I don't like things being, it's awkward, it's not right. Like we're so close, and it's like our relationship's just been cut. It's and I think the hardest thing is because I always follow the rules, I always do the right thing, you know, I've always stood by their dad, I've always been a good mum, and Gary has, like, he's got a past. You know, he was heavily into drugs when he was younger, and it led him into a lot of trouble. He ended up going to jail, and he says now jail's the best thing that ever happened to him. He got his life back on track, and that's what he needed. You know, he needed that. And, you know, he had a tough upbringing, a tough life, and they can't see in their eyes somebody that's been into drugs and in jail is no good, and how can their mother make such a stupid choice as to pick someone like that?
Okay, so they feel that it's out of character and...
Yeah, that's why they think I'm being silly, and it's nothing to do with what he's done and what he hasn't done. Like, he doesn't own anything, he doesn't own any money, he doesn't have any money, I mean, but he has a job, he's never been out of work, you know? You know, he's kind, he's not mean to anybody, you know, he's really like, you just talk to anyone, any of our friends, he does not have a nasty bone in his body. I don't think he could possibly be mean to me, and that's the big attraction. He's so kind and so nice and loving, and we have so much fun together. We just, like, we come from different worlds, from different, it's amazing how we could have anything in common. Like, on one half we're the complete opposite of each other.
Just connect.
But on the other half we're the same person. It's weird.
So you really just find a really good connection.
Yeah, I do.
That's good. That's really good. Getting back to what you want from this session, you were saying, I asked you how would things be different, you know, if ideally how you want things to be, and you mentioned that you want your relationship to be okay with your daughters and to be normal and to be close again.
Yeah.
How do you think you'll get to that point?
Well, I understand that it's not going to be overnight.
Okay.
And, you know, like, even like, I can understand them being hurt, and I can understand them even thinking, I can't believe mum's with someone like this, who they think he is. And, you know, all I want is for them to think, he's a person, he's a human being, he's got feelings, we need to get to know this bloke and give him a chance. Okay, if he hurts my mum, fair enough, then be angry and be, you know, not supportive. But if he's treating me right, what's there to be angry about, you know? You know, they think that he's using me and ripping me off, but I mean, since he's moved in here with me, I have less expenses. Like, we go halves and everything, so I'm better off financially having someone helping out.
So you live with him?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we've moved it. We wouldn't have been living together, only that when everyone found out about us, he was living with one of our friends, and our friend was a friend of my husband's, and he told him he had to leave because he felt that he was being disloyal to my husband if he kept Gary staying there with him. And plus, he also worked with Gary. He was Gary's boss, and he fired him too, so Gary was left with no house and no job. But he got a job within a couple of weeks, and he's moved in here.
That's good. That's really good. So, what do you really want out of this session today, Sharon? What is it that you really want to happen?
Well, I want my relationship with my daughters back on track. And I understand that, I mean, you can't tell me how to make it, it's just a time thing. But just to talk about it and get it out and have someone listen, because no one really likes talking about it because it's all too close and personal.
It's too hard to sort of address it,
Yeah.
for some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad is still, he was very rude to me. He really upset me. And I rang him for Father's Day and he was quite short and it was really awkward with him too. And I feel like everyone's just rejected me and it hurts so much because I would never do that to my family. You know, I would die for my children. I would do anything for them and
That's,
to have
that's
them.
a really,
I feel
that's
rejected.
really important.
I feel rejected. I feel not good enough and that I have to follow the rules of whatever, all the rules everyone sets for me, that's what I have to do. I can't make any of my own decisions. You know, I'm not a stupid person. I know right from wrong.
Mm. So you feel like they're sort of questioning your decisions
Yeah.
and sort of saying, well, you've hurt me, Mum,
Yeah.
this is a bit of payback.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Alright, that's very hurtful.
Yeah. And I mean, they're not little girls, they're adults.
Mm.
And yeah, it just really hurts me.
Okay. So, how do you reckon your relationship with your daughters, what ways do you reckon you get that back? Just say it's a long process, I understand that, but what are some small steps that we could come to today to sort of make this a bit better for you and the family?
Well, I don't know. I could probably, you know, I just want to, because my oldest daughter, she lives an hour away, over an hour away too, so it's not like she's just around the corner. And her partner's really stubborn and her partner's really doesn't forgive easily. And she is very hard and my daughter is quite influenced by her, like she doesn't want to upset her. Like it's basically, you hurt me, you're out of my life.
Okay.
You know, I just want, I don't know how to do it, but I just want them to get, you know, like I'm still their mum and they're my daughter. That should not change. They don't have to like who I chose to be with. That might take time for them to get used to it, but accept me still as your mum, you know?
Who you are.
Yeah, I'm the same person. And it probably wouldn't, it feels like it's all come to a head because of my birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
I've sort of got to push things in that.
Okay.
Like we were going to, originally I was going swimming with dolphins on my birthday. My oldest daughter was coming.
That's exciting. That's
Yeah,
very different. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I really wanted to do it. My oldest daughter's going to do it too, and I was really looking forward to it. Well, no mention's been made about it.
So that would have meant a lot to you.
Yeah, no mention's been made, and I don't want to mention it. I'm that scared of being rejected now.
Okay.
You know, that's what Gary said. You should just drive down there and see her, and that, you know, it might be the best thing. I said, I'm scared. I'm really scared. If I went there and she was short with me and rude to me, it would break my heart. You know, like I
What
rang.
do you reckon would happen if you were?
I don't know. I don't know. I rang her a couple of weeks ago. We'd been getting along all right, and hadn't really been talking about Gary and me, but she was okay with me. And then out of the blue, I rang her one morning, and she was really short to me, and really, I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Nothing. I'm just tired." And I'm like, "Oh, you sound like you don't want to talk to me." And she said, "I've got nothing to say to you." And it was just like that. We used to talk on the phone at least once a day. And we could talk for ages and ages and ages and just talk, you know. And then it went from that to just nothing. Something
so
happened.
Sort of compare it to sort of your best friend relationship. You were like best friends.
Well, we were mum and daughter, but we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
along really good, yeah.
Okay.
We used to muck around and laugh and talk all the time, you know. We'd ring each other while we're cooking dinner and be on loudspeaker and talk and that. And then it's basically like, I've got nothing to even say to you, Mum. You know, and that really hurts me. And I know their dad has told them stuff that isn't true. He's told them lies. And you know, he's told my dad lies. He's even tried to get to my mum. He wanted to try to talk to Mum, but she wouldn't talk to him. He told my sister lies, but she wouldn't listen to him either. She didn't want to. She
get
just,
involved.
yeah, she just said,
So,
Sharon's not the one that was cheating, it was you. You're the one that's been cheating, John, you know it. And he's just bad-mouthing me as much as he can to get the attention away from him. Because if there's one thing that he needs, and that's people to admire him and think he's great. And he does not want anyone to think otherwise. And he told me he would humiliate me. He told me that he would make my life hell. And that's what he's doing. But I never thought there would be anything that my daughters would hear that they would believe. If it sounded too far-fetched and bad, I just thought they would say, I know Mum and I love Mum and I need to talk to her. I can't just believe what you're saying. And it's totally thrown me. I honestly really thought that my kids would be there for me no matter what, you know, and that has really opened my eyes. And it's made me think, like, it's really hard. Like, I don't trust people easily anyway, you know, but to have not trust your own children and your father now, because it's just broken my heart. I know that I can't rely on them. I can't rely on them.
So it's really been a massive blow.
Yeah, it has.
Like, it's all just, they've all just rejected you, and
That's how I feel. And like, I'm happy, like every day's happy,
Yeah.
like Gary and I are happy, we have fun, we're really, really good. But when I get a nasty text or I start talking about it when I'm feeling a bit vulnerable, if I'm tired or upset, and it just breaks my heart, you know, I'll just cry and cry and cry. You know, I'm just so sad. And in a way, it's easier just not to text and not do anything, because I can't keep going around in circles. I can't keep going, I'm so sorry I hurt you, please forgive me, but I'm happy. And
so you found actually not texting them and sort of not saying anything to them has actually helped a bit?
yeah, well, I think so, because it
Okay.
just makes me feel better. I feel if I keep texting backwards and forwards, it's just, I keep playing this game with them, you know, it's like backwards and forwards, nothing changes, it's
Yeah.
just attack. If I don't say anything, like, I hadn't spoken to her for about a week, and then out the blue the other day, my mum had rang up and talked to her and said, have you got anything planned for your mum's birthday? And she said, oh, Mum and I aren't talking. And then Mum said, what do you mean? And she said, she told my mum that I didn't answer her messages, and she told her mum, so she lied about stuff, and she said that I'm angry at it, and none of it's true whatsoever. She only exaggerated or lied just so Grandma wouldn't think bad of her. But my mum did say to her, look, what would, you know, she said I didn't have a mum. My mum's mum died when she was young, and my grandma's mum died when she was young, and don't take it for granted. Not everyone's lucky enough to have a mum. So, you know, just be nice to your mum and kind to your mum, and, you know, Mum's really upset the way things are. And she texted me out the blue the other day, and just, it was quite short, but she said her and her partner had been to the beach for the day and took the dogs.
What did that mean to you?
Well, it was
She
good.
texted.
I felt happy, you know, and Gary said, well, you're really happy, aren't you, to get that message? And he said, oh, that's so good. And I said, it is, but it was still a bit short, like she didn't call me mum or say she loved me or anything, it was just to the point. So
it was still a message.
yeah, we messaged back a few times, and then when I woke up the next morning, I had 3 messages she'd sent me while I was asleep that night, so she still kept texting me, so that was good. And then the next day, she said that she loved me, and, you know, it was kind, but then she asked me what I was doing the weekend. I told her and Gary and I were going to a barbecue, and then she just messaged and said, okay, have fun. She didn't.
Okay.
Once I mentioned Gary's name, it's like back to, okay, I don't want
Back
to get
to
too,
square one.
yeah, I don't want to get too friendly with you.
Okay, so things are sort of starting to, I guess, there was one point where it was like she completely wiped you, and they're
Yeah.
sort of starting to get back to that
Yeah, it's like,
normality again, but as soon as you mention Gary, it becomes a real
yeah,
issue for her.
I think she knows,
Okay.
like, this is not going to be easy on her either, because we're so close, and she's going to be missing out. She thinks she's so stubborn.
Okay.
And I think she thinks if I'd be tough enough on Mum, she'll just think, well, look, I'm never going to have a relationship with Sammy again, a proper one, if I don't get rid of this bloke. But, you know, that's not going to happen,
Okay.
you know?
So she's really important to you, but Gary's also important to you. So you sort of want to be able to get to a place where you can mention Gary's name?
Well, I should be able to. I
Yeah.
can't understand it. Like, he's who I'm with. He makes me happy. He's, you know, I just don't understand that. How they can just think, okay, this is not the bloke I would have picked for my mum. Even if they think that. But give him a chance, you know, give him a chance. They're making judgments on a whole heap of stuff they've been told.
So what, I'm just going to ask you, what do you reckon would happen if you were to go see her and Gary was there? What do you think how would she act?
I don't know. She'd probably just say, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him on if he's with you. And I'm thinking, like Gary's saying, you go out with your family for your birthday, I'll stay at home, I don't want to. And I'm like, no, it's my birthday and it's important to have you there, and I'm not going to just have them, you know, manipulate me into, it's my birthday, you know?
It's important to you, you want
Yeah.
the people that mean the most to you there.
Yeah, if it was their birthday and they didn't want him there, that's something different.
Okay.
But it's my birthday, I should be able to choose who, you know, I should be able to choose who I want there.
Okay. Alright, so are you going somewhere for your birthday? Have
Well,
you planned anything?
I think we're going to go out for dinner.
Okay.
But then my youngest daughter's planning it, but she's even too worried to mention it to the other two because they're being a bit funny about it with her, and it's just, it's terrible, you know, it really is. But I think surely if they come on my birthday, they wouldn't dare put on any terms and that. Surely they would want to make me happy enough because it's my birthday. If it was just a random day with nothing, you know, they may not want to come and meet him, but because it's a special day to me, I'm hoping they'd let their guard down and actually, just for my sake, you know,
Yeah.
and then think, oh yeah, he's all right, you know, Mum seems happy that.
Sort of accepted a bit more, see you guys together.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I think, you know, like I think, like, we have so much fun. Sorry, I'm just going to check up my message here. Someone's, I'm just waiting to hear that from someone.
Okay, no, that's all right.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It
Yeah.
happens. I get clients that come in all the time and their phones are on loud and they're
No, I put it
buzzing
on
and-
silent because I
yeah.
didn't want my mum to ring me while I was in here.
okay.
It'd be rude, but I still just needed to know if she was
That's
looking
okay.
for me.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Yeah, sorry, what I was saying is, like, when me and the girls are together and Mum and that, we have so much fun, like, we have so much fun and everyone's loud and talking and that's the
So
same.
it's just harmony.
Yeah, and then when Gary and I are together, we have so much fun and we laugh, and I think, how great would it be if I could have this, we could all be together.
All in the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, Gary was good friends with my middle daughter and her partner. They got along so good. He would love to be friends with them again. You know, he would love to be able to talk to my daughter's boyfriend and, you know, just, it would be so great.
Mm. That would mean the world
Yeah.
to you.
And they all seem to think that the way a lot of the people, friends and that are thinking, if Gary didn't get in the way, that me and John would have got back together. That he sort of blocked the path for that happening. But that was never going to happen. It was not going to happen. I left my marriage, I wasn't happy, and I'm not silly enough to get stuck straight in another relationship that doesn't make me happy.
So Sharon, we're getting close to the end of this counselling session. Obviously you can schedule in more with me, but we're getting close to this one. I just want to ask you, what, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
If that's okay. Have you considered, you know, coming to a family counselling session? I know here at this facility we do family counselling, so what happens there is I sort of speak to you first and
Yeah.
listen to you, and then I listen to your daughters, and then we all come together.
Yeah?
Is that something that you think would work?
Yeah, that sounds good. I would really like to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's something that would really work out for you and
Yeah.
your daughters.
Because I feel we're all very emotional and we all get very worked up and fiery, and our emotions take over if there's anything that's said that's not fair, or, you know what I mean? It's hard for us to keep calm if we were in a neutral environment where, you know what I mean, and we had somebody else there. I think we might think a bit before we speak and
So that would work better than just going and confronting.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So that's a possibility that we can look forward to and we can schedule it in. So, because obviously we want the best outcome for you and the family in this situation. So
Yeah.
as long as that would work with you.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good.
Okay, all right. So we just have to finish up now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for your time. Would you like to schedule in another appointment?
I will, but what should I talk to somehow see my daughters and see what they think and find a time that suits all of us? That we could do
It's
the family
completely up to
counselling?
you. You can ask them and we can go from there. It's
Yeah.
completely up to you. Obviously it's a process, but we will get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably best if I talk to them first and then find a time
Yeah,
and
okay.
see if they're
So something that
Yeah.
fits in with all.
and see if they're all okay to do that. It'd be good if they would all agree to that.
Yeah, all right. Okay, Sharon. Well, that's good then. That's a good start.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for talking to me today.
That's okay. No, thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you next week or the week after, whenever we
Okay.
figure out what time works best for all of us, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Should I take that mug back out to reception or?
You can leave it here or you can take it out. It's really up to you.
Okay. Thank you.